Welcome into In-Game Live, brought to you by Nissan. Amy Fadool, Ron Jaworski with you. And Jaws, that is a crazy first half. We do bold predictions on our pregame show, and I don't know that we've had anything remotely close to as bold as what we saw. What'd you make of it all?
Well, when you look at the statistics, the game was dominated by the Arizona
Yeah.
Cardinals. I mean, it's just crazy, and you wouldn't believe the Eagles are winning this game 21-6. Cardinals had 13 first downs. The Eagles had 8. Kyler Murray was 12 of 17. Jalen Hurts had a big first half. Really late, played very well. Time of possession, which is always a huge number, 21 minutes and 48 seconds for the Arizona Cardinals. Eagles had the ball for 8 minutes, 32 seconds. And yet winning the game, big plays.
Right.
Big plays. And obviously Sidney Brown makes a tremendous interception, takes back 99 yards for a touchdown, really the turning point in the game. But you find a way to win. Right now, the Eagles are finding a way to win.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Obviously, it's skewed a little bit because of that 99-yard touchdown that was returned by Sidney Brown. A crazy play right there. And it looks like there was clearly some miscommunication because Kyler Murray was calling for something, and then Murray, I guess, the guy just lost his route. So good for the Eagles to recognize that. But we also saw a trick play. I don't know that I knew Kenny Gainwell was a left-handed quarterback right there.
Nor did the Arizona Cardinals.
It was fun to watch, but Julio Jones with 2 touchdowns. Is this a case of people just not thinking that he has anything left in the tank where because they had him in like one-on-one coverage and then a little bit where they gave him a pretty good cushion?
Well, I mean, he has length, that size, long arms, and he can still move. He doesn't have the speed that he used to have. But when you got a veteran wide receiver, they have a great feel for coverage. And that's exactly how he plays the game now. He's a savvy wide receiver, good hands, big, strong, and he fits nicely into this offense. You can tell Jalen has great confidence in him. I mean, they have got that rapport where they see the field through the same eyes, and they've been effective. Now, to get 2 touchdown passes in the first half, I didn't expect that, but you always expect a play from a veteran player. And we got some plays from A.J. Brown.
Absolutely.
And Smitty made some big plays, but give some credit to Arizona. John Connor is running really, really well for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, what you're looking at when James Conner is running out there, he's 72 yards already. And then you look at the Eagles who are not running the ball as well. And this is one of the worst run defenses in the Cardinals. And the Eagles are letting the Cardinals run all over them. Why do you think that is?
Well, they stay committed to it. And I think it shows a little bit of a weakness, which has been exploited, for most of the season, the inability to stop the run on a consistent basis. For the first half of the season, the Eagles were very good against the run. Linebackers started getting hurt. Safety started getting hurt. They're major components in the running game. And I know we've invested a lot of draft capital and money in defensive linemen, but let's be real here. The defensive interior line has not stopped the run pretty much for about the last 8 or 9 games consistently. And that could be something that we could worry about down the road, but they made enough big plays in the first half of this game to give the Eagles that 21-6 lead.
What do the Birds need to do to get DeAndre Swift going? I mean, here's a guy that was only 12 yards away from 1,000. He obviously eclipsed that, but I know he wants to get more than 60 yards.
With just about 2 minutes to go in the first half, Eagles had run 0 offensive plays. 0. I can't. I'm a stat wonk and study the game. 0 offensive plays until the 2-minute warning. And 22 for Arizona. So it was just totally dominated by the Arizona Cardinals, not in scoring, but time possession. The Eagles get the ball for 2 minutes, they score a touchdown.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you're not getting the ball, you're not going to run the ball. We know this is the worst run defense in the National Football League here in Arizona, and yet we never established a run. But fortunately, Jalen made some big plays, A.J. Brown made some big plays, and pretty much everyone chipped in offensively.
Defensively, you're seeing the secondary have to step up. Obviously, we know that Avonte Maddox is back in this one. That helps with that slot position. Shaq Leonard, obviously, I think has played a lot better. We talked about the guys that have been stepping up. Keely Ringo and this new, the Sidney Brown, obviously, with the interception. Now that Matt Patricia is calling it, are you seeing that different wrinkle a little bit, especially in the secondary?
I really don't see anything in the play selection from a game preparation standpoint. But I do see the young guys flying around. I mean, Kaylee's got great speed and quickness. Sidney Brown, we saw it in that return, but he's been flying around all along. So, I think you're starting to see the transition, some younger guys, and that's what eventually they're going to have to go to. You can't – in the NFL, corners go fast.
Yeah.
They lose a half a step, they're old. these young guys coming into college now, these young wide receivers, they got speed and quickness, and they just don't match up to when you got to go man-to-man or even in zone coverages. So it's good to see the influx of young players now, this Eagles defense, particularly the secondary, making impact plays.
You mentioned the defensive front. How much more do they need to get pressure on Murray? Because he has the ability to get out of the pocket. And you can see, I mean, obviously, 12 of 17. He also has been known, he can drop the ball and just run through it. They need to get a little bit more pressure on him.
Yeah, I think that's always the kryptonite to the quarterback to get some pressure. But it's just watch Kyler Murray. His quickness isn't what he used to be. Now, I know he came off knee surgery, so you don't expect to be the same. The interception was just a poor decision. Him and his wide receiver weren't on the same page. He threw a fade, the receiver ran an in-breaking route. So they both – I don't know exactly how their system runs, but it was a huge mistake. It cost a 99-yard touchdown pass. But, they want to get the ball out quick. McBride's a good tight end receiver. They've been trying to get him the ball. But, if you look at the time possession, that's a big number. John Connor's been controlling his time possession with 14 carries for 72 yards in the first half.
Yeah, their rushing game alone, I mean, you're looking at almost 100 yards in the first half alone, 72, and then more. Carter, they have 10 between them, and then Murray adding in a couple more on that front.
And then you look at the Eagles rushing.
Yeah.
Swift with
Swift 16. And then Gainwell with 5.
21 yards against the worst rushing defense in the National Football League.
So
but we haven't had the ball.
And that's the thing. I think that's where the stats are going to be skewed. You have to, when you look at them and they do stick out, especially for, the lack of play calling, you're thinking, what's going on? And then you look you have under 9 minutes of the ball in your hands. Right. I mean, that's the fact that you're winning this game by as many, obviously.
It's hard to believe it's a 21-6 ball game just when you see how the first half was played. But
yeah, and then that's just one of those wonky games.
There's a big but.
But that's all that really matters. I mean, obviously, in the end of the day, you want to get things going. But it'd be nice to see them have a little bit more of, a time that it's going to be the regular offense. All right, we're out here. We can matriculate the ball down the field, kind of get into a groove because they're coming off not a great game up from Monday.
Yeah, and in fact, that's been kind of the problem all season long. There hasn't been that consistency. Even at 10-1, they were tight games against both Washington games. The Buffalo game, there are a lot of we could have lost those games and been close to a 500 team than a 10-1 team. But that's all they are is words. The Eagles are right now in very good position at 11-4. They're going to win this football game. They should. Although in some areas they're not dominating, they're a better football team. I'll give Jonathan Gannon some credit. They're coming here. His team's playing hard, but this is a very talented Eagle football team. I am a little worried about the defense.
Yeah.
So going to watch it close in the second half. But when this offense needed to step up at the 2-minute warning, they drove right down the field.
Yeah.
Down the field.
That was a thing of beauty. And you wanted to see that. And you're getting guys involved. Obviously, we've seen Dallas Goedert get a little bit of touches in there. They need to get a lot of these guys going again because I think they want to it's a warm-up. It's a warm-up for the end of the season and the postseason at this point.
Yeah, and we still don't know, how it's going to shake out.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of the National Football League. It'll come down to the second half next week, the last, where teams will be slotted in the playoffs. Or, right now the New York Giants the Washington Commanders are giving San Francisco all they can handle. The Giants are giving the Rams all they can handle. So that's the beauty of the NFL. These are highly paid professional athletes. Just give it to you. They give you their best all the time, and you never count a team out.
Well, you know it as well as anybody. Any given Sunday. That's what they always say.
I love that phrase.
All right. That'll wrap it up for In Game Live, brought to you by Nissan. For Ron Jaworski, I'm Amy Fadool. We will see you on NBC Sports Philadelphia for Eagles Post Game Live.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.